Hello. I thought I'd go live again, guys, and see how you all are, have a chat. So if any of you are around, come and say hi. Dan, is that you in the video now? Or someone else? I've got to work out how to make Dan a moderator. I'll give it a minute for some people to maybe see me. I should probably premiere these. I'm going to try that next time, I think, so that people know when I'm going live, but I'm going to try and keep it around the same time. I've got a bit more of an angle this time, I feel like. You can see my sign up there. Could you see that last time? I can't remember. It's kind of nice though, seeing like more of the backdrop. Well, we've got one person in so far. A small live stream. Oh well, if that's the case, then hi. Hi, one person. This is kind of how I thought it would go last time, where I just went live randomly and thought, oh well, I'll just test it. No one will probably jump in. And then a few people did jump in, so Dan, is that you? If it is you, Dan, can you say something so that I can try and like right-click you and make you a moderator? Because I don't have any moderators. Thank you. I'm going to try and make you a mod. Okay, you should be a moderator now, Dan. You have the power. Not that we have anyone in here right now, but, you know, people can watch it on the playback, I guess. So that's all right. But it's better when I get to chat to people. So I'm hoping someone jumps in. Well, hi to anyone watching the replay. Anyway, I thought I'd wear my tentacle spine little, I think they're called puck horns. I really love this design. Looks really cool. Kind of curves back. Although every time I put this elastic around my head, my hair went a bit wacko. So I've managed to get it not too bad now, sitting on my head. So I'm kind of happy with that. Very much in need of some hair color. I have a lot of regrowth happening there. So that's something I need to... I'm actually going to dye my hair a different color. Not a different color, exactly. Different intensity of color, maybe. There's like I'm going to get a Manic Panic. It's called Vampire Red. I thought, seeing as I'm working from home, I might be able to get away with something a little bit more vibrant. So I will try that. Knowing my luck, we'll probably be straight back in the office as soon as I dye my hair brighter red. But it's I mean, red I think is something you can kind of get away with, it being a bit bright and out there, whereas, you know, probably can't do purple in a corporate environment. So red it is, sticking with red. Hey, how's it going? I wasn't sure if anyone was gonna pop in. I was saying to nobody, probably to Dan, because I think he was the only one in at the very start, that I should do a premiere next time. I'm still working out how to do live streams. I've managed to make Dan a moderator, so I worked that much out. So that's good. Not that anything happened last time that required moderation, but you never know. So yeah, wearing my tentacle spine horns, like I was saying. And I thought I'd jump in again, just see how people are going and say hi and chat to you all. I'm slowly getting there, slowly figuring it out. Although I did realize I'd accidentally created a couple of random live streams in the past, and I didn't realize until I started looking into this a bit further, and I realized I had a live stream tab. I didn't know that, and I went and clicked over there, and I'm like, oh, I've got 3 live streams, but I don't think there was anything much on them. I don't know. I must have clicked the button. I didn't have a webcam attached, so I don't know what it created or whether anyone could see it or anything like that. So it's a bit quieter this time than last time. Last time when I went live and thinking I wouldn't get anyone jumping in, I think I had 7 or 8 people, which for me, I was pretty chuffed about that. But it's a bit quieter today, so maybe people are busy. It's early morning in Australia. I think I mentioned that last time, but it seems like this time works out for people in the States. And I checked how many people I have subscribed, and majority is the States. I do have the next most, I think, is Australia, and then from other places around the world too. I can't make it a good time for everyone, of course, but this is a time where people might be up in Australia, and hopefully people are available in the States. So I figured it was not a bad time to do it. And yeah, I thought I'll just do it this time unless anyone says, oh, this is a really terrible time for me. And, we can change it up or whatever. What would be awesome, Dan? What did I say that's awesome? But yeah, we've been just trying to find new routines. Both of us are working from home for the most part. Dan does go in the office occasionally, but so it's been a different experience working from home. And so, but we're trying to keep some sort of normalcy, some routine, and look after ourselves health-wise and stuff like that a bit. So trying to eat relatively healthy, trying to make sure we go for walks at lunch and things like that. So neon rainbow, not colouring my hair, neon rainbow. Although, look, honestly, if I could get away with trying different hair colours, I absolutely would do it. I just, at the moment, can't, but maybe red. I can get away with red. Oh, your connection isn't good for lives. Yeah, look, if it's a little bit behind, just mine sometimes falls behind when I watch someone's live stream, and I'm a little bit behind the conversation. But if it's only just a touch behind, it's not too bad, I find. I mean, some of my comments will then obviously be out of context if I'm watching someone's live and I'm commenting, but that's the downside actually of the live streams. And I don't know how my connection is going to go, to be fair, because I was going to tether off my phone again. Our internet's not marvelous here, but so I'll give it a try not doing that. And Dan said he'll tether off his phone just so that I've got the full internet myself, so that, yeah, hopefully it goes all right. But yeah, I've been working on a big project, which again, still over there. I was going to do a different angle. Oh my God, Dan, do not reboot the router. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll have a second live stream go again like last time. I think someone was poor thing was hanging out in the other live stream for a while and didn't realize that I'd started a new one And somehow that one, I thought I'd exited out of it and canned it off, but it must have kept lingering there, and someone was still hanging out over there. And so, yeah, that was a bit of a failed first attempt. But that's all right. We're working it out. Like I said, I think, although afterwards I was like, now what do I do to keep the live stream? Because it comes up with all these different windows of things you've got to fill in and answer and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, I don't know what to do. So what's everyone been up to anyway this week? Everyone doing okay? Still safe? Still all right? Like I said, we're just trying to get into a bit of a routine. I'm a creature of habit in a lot of ways. I really thrive on routines. I've realized, I actually suffer from anxiety, but it's been not too bad. Not requiring medication, at least for a while, but I do find routine helps me a lot. And I have learnt about myself that exercise helps my anxiety and mental state a lot. So I try to make sure I do some sort of exercise most days, not every day, but and get some sunshine, because vitamin D, definitely helps as well. Doing okay, but US might be in trouble. Could very well be trying to open back up too early. I know. I read that. I'm so sorry. It is too early. You haven't sort of started to slow down again, and even us, we're not getting that many new cases every day now. It has slowed down a lot, but they're not opening up yet anyway, so they're being very cautious. And I know that's hard for the economy, so it's like a double-edged sword. It's damned if you do, damned if you don't. But I guess I like the way Bill Gates put it. I've been watching a lot of different, interviews with people, and he was one of them. And he was saying, you can eventually fix an economy, but you can't bring someone back from the dead, basically. So it's tough though, because the tough part is too, if you can't get any money to look after yourself and get by, then what are you meant to do as well? So I really hope that governments will look after their people and make sure that they can isolate in place and be able to feed themselves and get by and get through it. Otherwise, what are you meant to do? Some people won't lose their jobs, but a lot of people will, and we still don't know how many more people will too, because there's that sort of flow-on effect, the economy slowing down and everything like that. So yeah, it's tough. And I'm trying now to look, I do still read the news almost days, I'll be honest. I'm coping a bit better with it now. I got myself into a real spiral of anxiety and everything over all of it. And, on a regular day, I catastrophize anyway because of my anxiety. So, and overanalyze things. So it's really not good for me to pay too close attention to, or try and think what will happen in the future, because you don't know. And your mind, if you're a person with anxiety like myself, you catastrophize everything, and it's going to be worse. And it already is. This is such a bad situation, so of course it's going to be bad. So anyway, I'm trying to not think about all of that stuff as much, because I have no power over it. So I'm trying to remind myself that me being stressed and anxious about it doesn't change it. It doesn't change anything, and I have to constantly remind myself that, though. It's a constant thing. But I'm trying to find solace in the things that I love, and was hard at first because, like, you know, I'm doing so many things, like creative things. I love being creative and I love sharing that with you guys. And one of my great joys is being able to inspire people and like bringing joy to people with the things that I create, and, you know, inspiring them to like get excited about things and make things and stuff like that. But when all this happened, you know, you feel like, oh, all of that's inconsequential, you know, it's not important. All these people are out of their job and dying, and, you know, should I even do those things anymore? Because, you know, it's so frivolous. So there's this big cloud that was over my head every time I tried to sit down and create something. I was like, well, yeah, I don't know. I couldn't be excited about it. And I knew that other people maybe couldn't be excited about it because we're all in the same boat. So you can help anxiety by imagining the worst thing. Yeah, I mean, it's unlikely that the worst things will happen. And but I guess, yeah, with anxiety, you have to sort of remind yourself that it's unlikely, and that a lot of times, you know, there was an audio book that I got. I think it was like The Anxiety Cure or something. I'll see if I can. I've got my phone here, and it was sort of saying, you know, you've got to remind yourself that you feeling anxious about that thing is, you know, is that going to improve that thing? And usually, no, it's not going to make any difference. You feeling anxious about that thing. So reminding yourself of that is super important, because we can so easily feel this weight and feel like I need, you know, it's not right for me to feel good because all these bad things are happening. It's not right for me to feel good. But you not feeling good doesn't make any difference on what's happening. So no one person stops mattering just because something bad happens. Yeah. Yeah, and the thing is, another thing too that I think is important to remember is that, you know, we shouldn't compare our suffering to others, because, like, you can then feel guilty about feeling bad as well. Like, you know, you're feeling stressed because all these things are happening in the world, and fair enough, we should be stressed. It's different. It's horrible. We've never been in this position before. But then you can think, oh, but I don't have it as bad as other people, so it's not fair for me to feel stressed. And I've told myself this in the past, and then you realize it's okay for me to feel bad as well. Like, yes, you know, there's always going to be someone that has it worse than you, and it's still okay for you to feel stressed about the things that are happening in your own world, because it is stressful. So let me just say, I have a lot of anxiety related audiobooks in my library, because it helps me to hear someone talk about things like that. You know, hear some good voices. I talk about it to other people, like hearing good voices in your head, because, you know, with anxiety, there's this bad voice in your head, which is just because of anxiety. And so having someone sort of telling you otherwise is really helpful. Oh, it's called The Worry Cure by Robert L. Leahy, Leahy. I found that one really helpful. Hi, Mary. So we've got a few people in now. That's good. I'm glad some people managed to come by and say hello. Like I said last time, this helps me as well, because, you know, it's nice to be able to have interaction with people, because we're all sort of locked down and everything. I think it's just good to keep you connected to people, and like good for mental health and all that sort of stuff. I've been doing way too much online shopping lately. I think that it's just been one of those, like, you know, little crutch things that, like, oh, let me make myself feel better with some retail therapy. So me and my husband had a couple of wines the other night and ended up buying each other like gifts, like just to make ourselves feel good. So he got some Lego for something that he could spend some time doing. So that'll be fun. And we just read a news article saying like Lego sales have just skyrocketed since all this happened, because people want things to do at home. You know, maybe people didn't have hobbies. I think there'll definitely be an influx of people with hobbies now, because, you know, the things that we used to spend time doing, we maybe can't do right now. So it's things at home that people will start to do. And I obviously have a lot of hobbies, but even me, I've been like having an influx of buying hobby related things, like, oh, I could make something out of this. Let me, you know, get XYZ. But yeah, Dan got me some makeup. And yeah, it was just one of those little things just to make ourselves feel better, I guess. But then now we're sort of trying to be a bit careful with our money, just in case. But both me and him, we put ourselves aside like a little weekly spending allowance, so that we can each spend that on what we want, and we don't have to answer to the other person for that money. That's just spending money. And that's been working really good for us. And then the rest of our money just goes on to bills and stuff like that. So I thought I brought my handbag up here because like someone was asking me for a what's in my bag thing, and I thought maybe I can like go through my handbag. I don't know what's in there though, so it's probably a big fat mess. And I don't know if anyone's actually interested in what's in there except for that one person maybe, but does anyone want to know what's in my handbag? I have I love this handbag though, like it's super cute. I think I showed you guys this a while back. I got it from Berserk. And yeah, I love a lot of their handbags. It's super cute. I haven't been using a handbag for the longest time, obviously, because, you know, we can't go anywhere. Oh, excuse me, knocking things about. That's my purse. The Desigual. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right, to be honest. I know I was pronouncing it wrong before, but I love my little purse. It's got very nice embossing on it. And I'm not going to go through what's in it because that's a bit too personal. I have a crazy amount of keys because I just haven't bothered to like work out how many I need and how many are duplicates. Like when we moved into this house, no joke, they gave us a box of keys, a whole box of keys, like about that size, you know, and we still have it. Most of them are duplicates. I'm fairly sure I have keys here that I've not used in years, and I can't remember which ones I need and which ones I don't. It might be a good opportunity now that I have more time on my hands at home to do things like going through stuff like this, I guess. I was thinking I should do like a declutter of stuff. I know a few people have been watching like some channels and they've been taking this opportunity to kind of, you know, clear out things at home and do home renovation things. You know, now that we're spending more time at home, you want your house to be a nice, serene place to be. I did a massive clean up of the house, like a total spring clean. But I didn't sort of go through things. Like I probably need to go through my clothes and like chuck some stuff out and all that. But I've got this like little key ring I got from Bali. And it just helps me find my keys. Although, I mean, how can you not find that? There's so many bloody keys. I got this little sheep. I went to a Bendigo wool festival or something like that. It was at the showgrounds, and I just went into doing felting, which I've not done on the channel before. I have a whole ton of like wool and silk, because I also do silk fusion with my jewelry a lot. I don't think I've done that. Have I done that on the channel? I don't think I have. I should, if you guys are interested in seeing any of that. Does anyone do felting at home? I think it's so much fun. I made a couple of scarves. I made a couple of bags. I use it in jewelry. And I did some dry felting for the first time in my Skeksis necklace, although I'm suspecting maybe I did something wrong with the felting, because I got a dislike on both those videos that had felting, dry felting, and I'm like, oh, is someone trying to tell me something? Tasmania will financially help backpackers, international students, etc., who found themselves out of work, broken, can't get home. Oh, wow. Finally, humanity triumphs. Yeah, that's so nice. Yeah, I love hearing stuff like that. I know there's a lot of initiatives that the government's doing, and I just hope that they go where they're meant to go, you know, because hi, Celeste. You know, you hope that the people that need the help get the help, because that's the problem. You hear all these ideas that the government puts forward, but then sometimes when you see it played out, the people who are suffering and need some assistance are saying, we're not getting that funding, it's not coming to us. So I do hope governments look after their people. I don't think you're that far behind, JW. What else do I have? Oh my God, why do I have network video? I haven't when people don't like hire videos anymore. Isn't that funny? It wasn't that long ago that, you know, you'd go to the video store and hire out your videos, and you don't do that anymore. It's all online, which I love, I have to say. God, I hated being stuck watching same old stuff, or hiring a video, getting right to the end, or like a good way through it, and then the video dies because someone's like damaged it. That was the worst. I remember having a friend over once, and I can't even remember what we were watching now, but it was some sort of suspenseful one too, and it was like, oh, what's going to happen? Next thing you know, video stops working, and we tried rewinding. There's like little tricks you can do, like winding the tape by hand and stuff. I can't remember what else we did, but I think we tried cleaning it out, dusting it out. Couldn't get that thing to work. I'm going to keep pulling things out of my bag, because why not? I mean, I'll show you guys what I carry around, all the random. My problem is, if I get a big bag, I fill it. And I've realized I need to start downsizing to smaller bags. I have the most random stuff half the time. This is handy though. So I don't know if everyone is the same as Australia now, or we behind the times. I don't know. We don't use plastic bags anymore. Well, we do sometimes, but like they don't give them out freely at shops. You have to pay for them if you want them. They're trying to reduce, you know, waste and all that sort of stuff. And I was finding myself stuck a couple of times. Like most shops will have one you can buy if you really need to, but then a couple of them didn't. And I was like, oh dear, I've just bought a couple of massive things, usually craft stuff. Oh, hi Ren, how are you? Oh, good to see you jumping in. It's nice to see some familiar faces. I'm rambling on as always about all sorts of baloney, but yeah, I was just talking about the bags in Australia. So my husband's mum gave me this, it's just like a little shopping bag. I won't open it. It's got its own little bag for the bag. And that way I can keep it in my handbag. And if I get stuck, which I have done, pull this little guy out and I'm okay. So silk fusion, it's or some people call it silk paper. It's basically a way of binding silk fiber, usually with a medium. So silk doesn't bind like wool does with felting, so you've got to use a medium to do it. And I've loved using it in jewelry. It's really cool, and it becomes quite sculptural if you lay it over things while it dries. I have had a couple of like failed attempts where the medium didn't penetrate all the fibers though, and it's sort of still fluffy inside. And I've got a couple of pieces that I made, which was a bit of a bummer because I wasted a fair bit of silk making some big sheets that I was going to use, and yeah, didn't pan out. I've kept them though. I don't know if I can maybe add some more stuff to it and still use them. I have a handful of those bags. They're great. Yeah, they're good, aren't they? They're really, really handy. Oh, thank you. Yeah, did a bit of the purple look and went with my tentacle spine horns, which I think they're a bit lopsided, are they? I don't know. They'll do. I thought it'd be fun to just like wear some kind of fun headgear, and it was between this and my little witchy hat today. I do have other things as well. Maybe each time I'll try and wear something different on my head. Now, I think someone was asking me how I plan my videos, and I said I had the best of intentions and bought myself a little diary to I don't think I've written one word in this diary. I bought the diary thinking, yes, I'm going to plan all of my videos and write them down. Have I written anything in this? Oh, no, I did. I actually did write some things in here. I wrote some things right before everything in the world changed. Actually, when I look back over this, I had a much different plans for videos that didn't pan out, sadly. So I guess, yeah, I should actually pick this up again and start planning out videos a bit more, especially because I have so many ideas floating around my head, some of which I've bought some things to do, projects and things, so I'm not going to forget those ones, but there's probably other ones that I want to write down because I might forget them. And yeah, I just always have way too many ideas and not enough time to do any of them. I've got this little bag in my bag. I've got a lot of bags in my bag. I love this bag. I think my friend Jen gave me this, and it's so cute. It's got all this lovely embroidery on it. Like, I love these stitches. I'm trying to learn a bit more about embroidery at the moment. Like, I do bead embroidery, so I know how to do that, but I haven't done very much in the way of thread embroidery. So I'm trying to incorporate that into my necklace, which you'll see that video tomorrow. Again, as I said last week, not so much a how-to, more of a what happened. Because, yeah, I guess, like, the challenge with doing videos about creative things is that sometimes you want to try something that you're not an expert in, and people will watch that and maybe think you know what you're talking about. So I just want to, like, let everybody know that a lot of times I am just exploring like you guys would, but hopefully you either enjoy watching me explore, or I can, like, give you some little nuggets of wisdom of what failed for me. But yeah, embroidery stitches is something I've wanted to sort of play around with a little bit, and I've slowly started to buy some embroidery threads and things. Like, I love the Gooderman threads and like the scan silk stuff. I've got some metallic threads as well. They've been fun. So trying to do a bit of hand embroidery, and I did actually buy a presser foot. You can get this special type of foot for your sewing machine that allows free form sewing. So it just allows you to, you know, move and bend the line of sewing, I guess, in a more free form manner. So, and I've not done that before, and I'm really looking forward to doing a bit of that. Like, one of my inspirations, and I'm probably going to butcher her name, but Annemiek and Mien, probably totally butchered that. I have a book of hers somewhere, but I'm not entirely sure exactly where it is. So, I want to show it to you guys though, because it's so good. Maybe after I finish pulling all this out, I'll have a bit of a quick look, see if I can see her book, if anyone wants to see her work. Otherwise, look her up if you can work out. Hang on, I'll see if I'll find the spelling of her name for you guys, and I'll put it in the chat. Her stuff is amazing. She does a lot of stuff with silk. Yeah, here we go. Nikki. Yeah. Her work is amazing. She does a lot of stump work. She does a lot of very sculptural stuff. I would die to know how to do all the stuff she does. And imagine doing all of that in jewelry and clothing and things. She did start talking about doing some clothing and things. And I think she decided in the end, I think she did a couple of clothing items, but for the most part, she did more artworks and sculptural pieces and things. So, because I think that's just where her heart was with it. But God, her stuff's amazing. I'll keep pulling out stuff from my bag while we're at it. I've taken my sunnies out. You guys don't see me wear them all the time, but I wear glasses. I'm nearsighted, so I don't need it for what I'm doing right now. I just can't see you in the distance. So, and I found it was like reflecting the light anyway, so I don't need glasses for doing stuff in the studio. But if I'm watching TV or whatever I do, so these are prescription sunnies that I have as well, because I'm getting a bit blind, turns out. Tissues, always have tissues. I sneeze a lot. I think it's makeup. I think makeup gets up my nose and I end up sneezing a lot. So I keep those on hand. Oh man, I've got some junk in here. I have a USB stick. I think that's Dan's. Dan, I have your USB stick. Sorry. I better give that to Dan. I haven't looked in here for ages. I have a pen so that I can write things in my book that I haven't really written in. I always keep some chewy. I've never done a what's in my bag. Oh, I've got an old medical certificate. I don't need that. I've got so much junk in here. Like I've got tissues in here. I'm so sorry. It's a mess. For the car. Pass for work. Exciting stuff. Oh, I love this. This stuff was good. I think I might be just about out of it though. Lens cleaner. Because if anyone is like, oh, were you looking for that? Whoops, sorry. Yeah, if anyone wears glasses like myself, you know that quite often you're looking through some mudgy, smeary, horrible glasses, and it's hard to keep them clean, especially if you like wearing makeup like I do. So that is something I feel like this is empty. I need to check that. I desperately needed to go through my bag because it's a mess. I've just got receipts. I don't know. This is embarrassing. I've got so much crap in here. Oh, what is that? Ah, the Wizard's Cauldron. I've got it. And that was a while ago. That was a video. So you guys have seen me go to the Wizard's Cauldron. That was the one with the magical drinks. So if you haven't seen that video, you can go and have a look at it. It's got a little bit of clips from the night. It was so much fun. Oh, that's so sad. I didn't know about that actually with the autoimmune disease. That's really sad. That's such a shame. She's amazing though. I adore Annemieke Mien's work. It's brilliant, brilliant. Yeah, Wizard's Cauldron. I don't know why I've still got this junk in here. Panadol, Naprogesic. I don't know if you girls use Naprogesic, but for period pain, I swear by it. It's very good. Oh, it's such junk. What is this? Got more medical stuff in there from some horrible tests I had to get done. Okay. Oh, wipes. These are good too. So you gotta have all the wipes and stuff for your glasses, or you can't see. Honestly, the rest is like mostly junk. I do have tampons. You probably don't need to see them. And a whole host of junk. Man, I need to clean that out. And then I do have side pockets, and I keep like deodorant in there. I always use an aluminium-free one because I heard that aluminium can give you Alzheimer's over time. The accumulation of aluminium can go into your brain, apparently. I don't know how true it is, but I would prefer not to do that. So, and then I've got headphones, and that's about it, really. I have so much junk in there. That's a bit naughty of me. I need to, and my purse is the same. I'm going to take this opportunity when I'm done talking to you guys to actually throw away a lot of that junk, because I don't know, it just became a cavernous hole. I was just like, oh, I'll deal with that later, and I never did. You know, I am so easily distracted by shiny things, and that is not even a joke. That is just true. I will just get sidetracked by whatever new fun thing I'm doing at the time, mostly creative things, and so I'll get home and think, yeah, I should do that, and then I end up working on something else. So yes, that's true. Not many women have an organized purse. Well, some do. I don't know. I'm not one of those people. I have seen people that show their handbag, and everything's like carefully portioned out into little sections and whatnot. I am not that girl. I am fly by the seat of my pants, random as hell, messy. Although I'm not too bad. I do get messy, but then I organize. Like I have in my studio, I have a bit of a flow that's every time I start a new project, I need to clean the studio. Like I need to. Everything must be put away in its place. I like having things visible. So I'm not someone that needs like a clinical, you know, things tucked away. Some people need that because they just need to clear their mind and not see things. But I find that for me to engage with my materials, I like to see them and I use them more often if I can see them. So I like to put things where I see them, and I notice the things that are more visible I use more often, but I need them to be organized. So I, when I start a new project, will put everything away. But when I'm creating, it's a bomb site. Like when I'm making something, everything comes out that I need for that thing. I will pull anything out that I think possibly I want to use on a thing. I want all the opportunity to use any of the things that I might need. Sewing sparkly things always distracts me from what I should be doing. Absolutely. Oh, it's so true. I think I said last week, like I'm not always a domestic goddess. I get in my moods where I'm like, oh, I'm going to do lots of cooking, or I'm going to clean the house or whatever. But like I am too often much more wanting to spend time doing creative things. What was the saying I heard once? Like, a clean house is a wasted mind. I don't know if I necessarily think that, but I'm always thinking, oh, I'd much prefer to use my time to do something else. But, you know, obviously, like sometimes you have to stop and clean. If you're in US and need analgesic, look at Midol. Oh, Midol, is that what it's called? Okay. Definitely recommend for period pain. I don't find painkiller really works that well for me, but anything with napogesic in it works really well. So I do like that one. My God, I'm looking at, like, I have a pile of stuff I pulled out of that bag. That is a big pile of stuff. I didn't realize how much stuff I fit into that bag. So I'm working on, I think I said to you guys, I hate telling you too much about what I'm working on because I like to keep it a secret. And then I don't want to tease you all with what I'm doing. I've got a necklace video coming tomorrow, so I'm still working on the necklace, but I'm trying to do those every fortnight because I can only really keep up with one video a week. There's a lot of editing that happens and stuff, and I know that not everyone's going to necessarily want to watch the necklace stuff. So I'm trying to intersperse it with other projects. And I'm just so excited to share with you guys what I'm working on, because I've been planning this since the start of the year, and it partly it's been delayed because of everything that's going on, but it's a fun one, and it's a lot of work, this one too. But then I've got a couple of fun ones too that sort of started their iteration when I could go out and about into the world. And it inspired me to do some fun things. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to sharing those things with you guys. I do also have a haul video coming soon. I think I called it my haul of shame or something like that because I bought so much. I've been buying a lot of creative stuff. And look, it's, it is my spending money. Like, we're actually doing okay at the moment. We're spending a lot less money than we were because, we can't go anywhere. And we're only spending money on things, but oh my goodness. Okay. So that is random. Dan, maybe you want to step in. I don't know what this is all about. Just keep an eye on Timmy because he's a little odd. Oh yes! Oh my God! I wanted to do a video on bead creep. I think I talked about this concept of bead creep at the beginning of sort of starting the channel. That my projects slowly start making their way around the house. I know I've got a studio, so I've got no excuse, but all right, I think we might have a spammer here, honey. Yeah, so there's this, well, I just always call it bead creep because when I'm starting a necklace in particular, because of how much work it takes, that's one project that I tend to do outside of the studio. Otherwise, I don't know, Dan had never seen me, and it's something I can do in front of the TV. So there's a lot of stuff I can't do in front of the TV, larger projects and things like my costume stuff I do in the studio. But necklaces and stuff, I'll do some in the studio, but a lot of it I'll do in front of the TV at night. I've got my little table, my little nana table, as I call it, and I'll set up my camera if I'm filming it on top of it and bead away. And as I'm making something, Dan's like lamenting of the bead creep. As I'm making something, like I'll decide, I need something else for it, and so a new tray will be brought downstairs because I need something out of that. And then I'm like, maybe I need some more threads. So a box of threads will make its way downstairs because I might need that. And like half the time I don't use half the things I bring downstairs with me. But yeah, it does start to slowly build up and accumulate. And next thing you know, there's this quite a pile of things that have followed me into the lounge room, which we refer to as bead creep. They creep out of the studio and down next to the TV. So, yeah, look, and, the days when I didn't have a studio, I mean, you can't help but have some bead creep. Our lounge room is the second creative room. Yeah. Sorry, Dan. It's very true. I can't even deny it. So, yeah. And like, I am like that. Like, if I'm making something, I like to have all the possible options of those things. So I'll, even, before I've even worked out what I'm using, I might have 5 trays of things that I bring down. I might use one thing out of it, but I have to see it all and make sure that I'm using all the things that I want to use. So yes, I was definitely going to do a video on that. I may do more playthings for Fizzy. Oh my God, you guys, I have to just tell you this quick story as well. I won't keep you too much longer. Dan bought this putting mat the other week as something to keep himself amused. And we thought it'd be all right. We thought, like, if he had that set up and if Fizzy was asleep, I thought, oh, you probably can get away with having a putt and he won't care about, chasing the ball or whatever. 2 seconds he had it out. 2 seconds and Fizzy was up. He looked so asleep that he wasn't going to go anywhere, and he bolted over. He was knocking the ball everywhere. He was rolling all over the mat, and all I could hear, like, I was working from home and I had to stay at the computer, but I could just hear, Fizzy, Fizzy, you bloody stop doing that. I was cacking myself. It was so funny. I was like, that was very nice of you, honey, for buying Fizzgig a nice big cat toy. He really appreciates his new cat toy. We were just laughing so hard. So now Dan's had to, like, try and clear out a spare room somewhere that he can lock himself away so that Fizzy can't get to it. Funny. And we heard him last night too, actually. And I was like, I wonder if that's, like, if it was something to do with Dan's putting mat, because we could hear him chasing something. But so often he'll find one of my bits of thread. Like, I usually have it up on my table, and I'll wheel the table, sort of away from the couch so he can't get up. And he's not much of a jumper, so we've managed to, like, most things are okay like that. But every now and again, he'll just get up high enough to bat something off. And the amount of threads I've found under couches that I didn't even know he'd chased, and I'll find, like, 5 different bobbins of, Nemo or whatever that he's obviously had as his plaything. And the other thing they used to love too, especially when I was restocking the beads on my, because I sell beads occasionally. It's just a bit of a side gig, and mostly for me to use the beads myself as well, and a little bit of income to help with stuff. But anyway, I ended up buying tubes from a manufacturer in bulk, and it comes with the cap separate and all that, and I'd be tubing up beads in front of the TV, and he loves the caps, loves them. As soon as I get a box of caps out, he's straight up on my lap. He is like, give me a cap. He'll grab it in his mouth and then he'll drop it and chase it around the house everywhere until it goes under something, which happens in about 5 seconds, and then he's back for another cap. So he loves those things. I need a bigger house if I want to do anything new. Yeah, I feel you. I mean, I'm so blessed to have this room, and I really do know that. Like, for a really long time, I didn't have a studio. Well, I mean, gosh, when me and Dan first got together, it was just me and him in a bedroom. We had a share house at the time, and then we got our own flat, but I didn't have a studio in that flat. So I just had a couple of shelves where I put all my beads and stuff like that. So for quite a number of years, I didn't have anywhere to work with jewelry, and I didn't do as much jewelry at that time. And it might have had a lot to do with the fact that I didn't have any room. And then our last house, that was like, well, the house before this one, which was our very first house, actually, I had my first studio. I was so excited about that. But it was a small studio, so it was a little bit hard to do anything big. Like I think it was about 2x3, something like that. 2x3, 2.5 by 2.5. I don't know. It was big for me because I'd never had a studio space, but not like the one I have now. And good for most things, like because like I was mainly doing jewelry at that time. I really wasn't doing costumes and all of that. And that would have been a bit hard. I did do some felting, but I always had to do that on the floor because I just didn't have anywhere else to do it. And that was okay, but like Dan couldn't like come in the door while I was felting. So it's and that's tough, you know, to have space to do things. If you don't have a room you can do it in, then you sort of need to set up like if you can, a table. I really love those plastic fold-away tables. I actually use those. Well, it's what you guys are sitting on right now, this table here. And they're great because you can just quickly fold them out when you're using them and fold them away. And some of them come with like a handle. Like I've got the one I've got the project on over there. I feel like it was really cheap too. Like it was less than $50, I think. And when you fold it up, it's got a handle. Perfect if you're doing like markets and stuff too, because you can actually kind of get it, you know, move the table around and stuff. And those things are great because you don't have a room, but maybe you've got a spot for a little table. You can fold that out. The trolley that I got too, that could definitely be a handy thing. Although if you've got cats, if Fizzy had access to that thing, ooh, that'd be tough. We downsized from a 4-bed home to a 2-bed apartment, much less space. Oh, yes. Yeah, that would be hard. That's the hard thing. If you don't have like a room that you can put your stuff into, it does make it, you do have to think about what you're creating. It can change what you create, I guess, sometimes too. There's, I know like costumes and stuff, I've noticed like you definitely want a big flat area to lay things out on for sure. That helps so much to have that, whether it be on the floor or on a table. Table's good. I'm noticing like as I get older, like leaning over like on the floor and stuff is getting harder. Even leaning over the table for a while, like I'm like, oh geez, my back's sore. Like, but yeah, it's dining room table is my work surface. Yeah, dining room table is for a lot of people where they work, and that's where I used to work on stuff a lot as well. Like in our flat, that's where I would work on everything. Oh yeah, wood, you can't do that. Yeah, I do that out on the deck. I don't really have a really great place to like spray paint stuff. I've realized too, like I spray paint stuff outside on these bricks that we have out there, but we get so much wind around here that like every time I do it, like I don't know, even when I try and weight things down, everything flies around, and probably doesn't help that a lot of times when I end up spray painting something, it's like at the very last minute for a goblin ball or something like that, because anyone who's seen me pop up on the goblin ball thread knows that I'm always doing something at the 11th hour to finish something. And it's usually paint involved somehow, because I was trying to spray paint some like foam armor last time, and then the wind picked it up and moved it around everywhere, and then it all stuck to itself and ripped. So that was fun. My cat eats chool. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, it's funny. Cats. I did have my sister's cat once ate a plastic bag, and it came out the other end. It's weird what they eat. It's weird for me that cats eat that. Like dogs eat so much random stuff. Like they're pretty much carpet sweeps, and they eat some really nasty stuff too. But cats will often eat like objects, you know. I don't know what's going on there. This might be a smell thing too. Certain things like get them excited. My cat, he doesn't really eat weird stuff, but he's a little bit of a creep because he loves shoes, like loves them, like crazy loves them. If you put a pair of shoes down, sometimes a bag as well, it's a smell thing, I think. He goes bananas. He will rub his face right into it. He'll grab both his paws and put his head into your shoe and sleep there with his head in a shoe. And we've had people over, especially Dan's dad. There's something about his shoes that Fizzy just goes nuts for. And it's actually kind of embarrassing because, like, he gets really into it and he'll be rubbing like this, and it will go on for a good half hour. We can't get him away from, and we're just like, so sorry. Sorry about it. And he's really patient about it. And I think towards the end he's like, yeah, can you stop that now, please? But like, there was this we were in a routine, like Fizzy was in a routine too. Like, we're finding new routines, and Fizzy was in a routine in the morning when I was going to work, because we've got a walk-in robe area off our bedroom. And so I'd get up and I'd go and get changed, and he'd always follow me in there. And he did that because he knew I was going to put shoes on. And he could get to smell some shoes. So he'd come. Such a little creep. Oh, I think I'm dropping out a little bit there. It said, am I still on? I think I am. Oh, dog eats rocks. Oh no. Who was it? There was someone I knew who had gravel, like had a barbecue over gravel. I can't remember who this was now. Might have even been my sister at some point, maybe her dog. I can't remember. I remember there being someone telling me about a barbecue over some gravel, and the meat smells and oil drips down onto the gravel, and obviously it all smells like meat. And the dog ate like a huge lump of gravel, and I think they had to surgically remove it because there was just so much in there. Yeah, not good. Wendy, does he just eat rocks, or like any old rock, or is it the same sort of scenario, like near a barbecue or something like that? So the rest of my day, like I said, it's morning time here at the moment. It's 10:30 now. Rest of my day, I'm going to be working on this project that I mentioned. So I'm hoping to bring that to you guys pretty soon, in the next couple of weeks. I made the mistake of telling some workmates about the project that I'm working on. And they were like, oh, you'll be finished that by next week, won't you? Yeah, show us next week. And I was like, it might take me a while. Oh, right. Digs them out of the rock pools. Okay. That's interesting. A mineral deficiency. Yeah, I've heard it can be due to deficiencies. I have heard, I don't know how true this is, but someone mentioned to me once that it's possible to have cravings, like people have had cravings for rocks. I know it seems so weird to me, but I wonder if it's a similar thing like that. I don't know. Well, guys, I think I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for coming by and saying hi. Again, I'll try and do this once a week on a regular basis, and each time I'll try and do something on camera with you guys. I was thinking of painting something. I just have like I have that candlestick holder I was going to paint, or maybe do a little project, like a mini one that I could do in front of the camera. I'll probably need to angle you a bit better because I keep realizing I've got the camera up quite high and I keep gesturing like just below where you can see. And then I'm like, oh, shit. What the hell? Dan, are you there? Can you sort that person out, please? Dan? Thank you. It's amazing to me. I'm such a small channel and such a small live stream, and you still get some weirdo randoms in chats. So I finally worked out how to make Dan a moderator so that if I get weird stuff like that, he can sort it out for me. Oh, hi, Ursa. How are you? I was just about to finish up, actually. I can make these a little later if it works for you guys. I don't mind because it is early morning. Well, it's 10:30. So if it's a better time to do it a bit later, because I think, is it 5 or 6 over in the States? Am I getting that right? Eating rocks and dirt or anything that isn't food is called pica, where it's a compulsion. Oh, okay, right. Okay. 5:36. Yeah, okay. So it may not be the best time for everyone if you're working or whatever. So I can do it a bit later. Oh, 8:36 where you are, Ursa. Okay. Guess it depends where everybody is. It's hard to find a time for everyone, but I've been here about an hour, so I'm going to call it for today. But I'll leave it up so that if anyone wants to see the randomness that is this live stream, you are most welcome to do that. But it's lovely to get on here and chat to you guys. So I do want to make it a weekly thing because I think it's just an opportunity to kind of catch up with people, for you guys to chat, for us all to chat together. And I know we're not always able to get out socially at the moment with everything that's going on. So it's important to sort of connect with people wherever we can. So I do really enjoy doing these things. But yeah, maybe I can do a project or something next time. Something easy to do in front of the camera quickly. I'm not going to be able to do too much. That's too tricky in that time. But if you guys want to do some craft while you watch me, it's like we're all crafting together. All right, I'm going to head off, guys. Stay safe, stay well. Look after yourselves in any way that you need to look after yourself, whether it is doing something creative or whether you don't feel like doing anything creative, and just do whatever you can to make yourself feel okay, because mental health is very important right now. So I shall see you all next week. Bye.